Welcome back to Wild West Van Life. Part 3, cutting out the mat, and hopefully all that goes well. And so that's what I'll be at. Have to say, I was looking at this again today, and I'll turn this around. Looks pretty good. It's shiny, like I said, but I'm okay with that because the mat will hide all that. But anyways, now the fun part, trying to cut out this pattern. They say you can cut this mat with a pair of scissors. I hope so, because doing it with a utility knife just makes a messy job. So I took the width measurement. I'm going to have a fair amount of leftover on one side, so I'm hoping when I cut the straight line with the scissors that it goes well, and if it does, that's what I'll do. I'll use the scissors for the whole thing. So that's what I'm hoping for, because I don't want to do it with a utility knife. That just makes a really messy job. So, excuse me, right when I go to talk now, I'm gagging. So we'll see you soon. I'll let you know how it goes here. I'm just going to get at it here. Right now, it's nice and quiet. So right now, I want to take advantage of that. So hopefully it all goes well. Hopefully this cutting goes well, and we'll let you know as we go. There's my first cut. So this is the width of my mat now. It's 59, just a little over 59 inches. I cut it with the knife, not the scissors. Cut it with the utility knife. Came out not too bad. I'm good with that. Like I said, I don't like using utility knives. They do a pretty rough job, but I use this C channel metal for a straight edge, which made it go good. So now I got to get this thing in the van and start trying to figure out how to do the pattern, or else try to take measurements of the doghouse. But like I said, for me to cut out the doghouse, it'd probably be easier with it in the van and then know exactly where to cut. Problem is, this mat's so big that you got to roll it up, and we all know that what that's like. Trying to cut when it's all rolled up, it's not going to go so good. I'd like to be able to lay the doghouse right on the mat on the floor here and cut it out and do a really nice job of it. Problem is, if I'm not right on with the measurements, or I'm out of whack just a little bit with the doghouse, then there goes my mat. So it's really sucks which way to go about that, because like I said, when it's rolled up against the doghouse and you're trying to cut around, we all know what that's like. You'd like cut, roll, cut, roll, and you're making really bad utility knife cuts. With the scissors, it should be able to cut with the scissors. That's what they say. But again, if you don't cut exactly where you need to go, you're either going to have this much of a gap or this much of a gap. I'd like to have nice snug cut all the way around that doghouse. But if I don't and I mess it up, hopefully it's only by a little bit, because then I'll just block silicone all the way around that edge, and that'll keep moisture from getting up underneath there or whatever. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. Right now I just cut my first width. So now I'll turn the camera around here. Now I have, 14 inches left of width by 4 feet wide. So 14 inches Oh, I better bring my measure tape with me. I was thinking about putting in a piece here, and it's only a little over 8 inches, eight and a quarter, but we'll say 8. Or actually, it'd be less than that because the door's got to be able to close. So I'll figure that out later. But I was thinking about putting a couple rubber pieces cutouts in here. Gives me more traction because this traction tape that I bought, it does its job, but it don't last long. It's like super cheap. So I was thinking if I glued down a piece of rubber here on both sides, then that'd be great. I'm not too worried about here. For a lot of reasons. One, I don't have that much of rubber. Want to take care of the front. The front is the most important right now. So, so even if I went 7 inches of a piece all the way across, that's still going to be not too bad. But I'd like to get right out to this edge, but I'd have to double check to see. We're pretty sure the door would hit it. So if the door still closes with, it's only 10 millimeters, it's not a lot. So the door might close with it. What I'll do is I'll cut out the piece for 8 inches, and then I'll see if the door will close with it. And if the door closes with it, then I'm laughing. And then I'll glue it down. So that's the plan. Just don't know if that's going to go. Like I said, first I got to get this mat in. It's going to be the one that tells the tale. Like cutting that edge with the utility knife, I had to keep. I actually recorded that, or actually, I thought I recorded that. So I have a little hand remote. It's a little on and off button for my phone, so I can start the video and then stop the video. While I pushed it, I heard my phone make a noise, so I thought the video was going. So here I am talking to you guys, making my cut, and I had to score it like 4 or 5 times with the utility knife to get it to go all the way through. So thankfully, the edge didn't come out too bad. You guys see a shadow there, so it's hard for you to see. But anyways, it turns out it wasn't recording at all. Like I said, me and technology are not friends. So that's where I'm at. I'm now going to roll up this mat. Try to get a possible center out of it, and figure out where to put this doghouse. But then I have to take all the work. The doghouse is 4 bolts and 2 screws to get the doghouse off, and then I got to unhook the wiring for the cigarette lighter for the ashtray and all that. It's not a big hassle, but I'd rather not go through all that. I don't know if you guys can hear the dodge. So anyways, that's where I'm at. I'm going to pause it here and let you know how it goes. Talk to you soon. Gotta love the math. Trying to get this figured out. I got 2 different ways I can tackle this. I can either take measurements, mark the mat, and then pray like heck that I cut out the doghouse to work with it. Whether I make a template out of cardboard or not, I don't know. Because the only other way is to put the mat in here and then try to chisel out the doghouse, which could go horribly wrong as well. So right now, I'll show you what. I measured from this bolt hole to this bolt hole to get the measurements. Then I found center, the center of the doghouse. So now I'm going to be measuring from here. Problem is, this floor is cut in an angle. It's not square. So I got to measure from my outside edge here of the width of the mat to here to get center of the doghouse to mark it on the mat. So I have 13 inches to the first bolt, and then 21 and 3/4 to the floor edge here, and then it's the same 21 inches to that bolt on the left side, or 21 and 3/4, sorry. So 21 and 3/4. Thankfully, that part's square, which I'm pretty impressed with, because whoever put down this floor here, you can see it's got bellies in it or whatever, right? But whatever. I'm not worried about that part. So I found the center of the doghouse and the measurements for the bolt holes. So as long as I get the center figured out on the mat to the outside edge and into the first bolt 13 and 21 and 3/4. So I have to get this in square mode in order for this to be square here. Once I get that figured out on the mat, and get this figured out, then I know exactly where it's roughly going to be on the mat. Because then if I got to cut a couple inches in and cut it out on the mat, I'm going to be losing a little bit of rubber or whatever. I don't care. Like I can't see me using the rubber of the shape of this doghouse afterwards. I don't know yet. I'm going to hold on to it in case I can piece any kind of pieces out of it for somewhere else. I don't know. But for now, if I got to cut a little extra wider, even if it's a butcher job, I don't care, and get that hump out of the mat. It's just to get this lined up square and get this angle here, and then the driver's side is different, it's bigger, and then like I said, I need the pattern of that in order to do. If I use a template, I got to be exactly on with measurements with the template on the rubber mat on the floor, because even if I'm a quarter of an inch out of whack either side, it's going to cause a big gaping gap. I don't want the big gaping gap. I'd like to have this as snug as I can. So it's a process. Like I said, measure 6 times and cut once, right? And that's where I'm at. So make fun of me if you guys want to in the comments of how I'm doing this. Some people just make templates, and yes, that does work. I totally agree with that. But like I said, this here, this is cut. Like if I square this up, it's cut in an angle that way. So I can only go by this outside edge and in center and get that in precision on my mat. Then I can put the template down on the mat and cut it out and do it that way. But like I said, I got to take like 20 different measurements of every direction to make sure that happens. I don't know. I mean, I might be overthinking it. Some people can just whip this up like nothing. But I'm not that guy, because like I said, I don't want to butcher this mat up with a utility knife. I don't like utility knife cuts. They're never nice. So I'd like to do it with these scissors if it's possible. The only way to do it with a utility knife and get somewhat of a clean cut is by having the doghouse resting flat on the floor in the garage on top of the mat and cut it out that way. But a black mat with a utility knife cut, you're scoring it about 3 to 4 to 5 times to get it all the way through the mat, and each time you try to do an extra cut, you're taking gouges out of the rubber, and it's impossible to get that nice straight clean cut, right? And that's what I'm hoping for, clean cuts. So scissors will do better in my opinion. So I don't know, like I said, it's a process, and I'm overthinking it probably, but still amazed the way the floor come out. So, well, I took the doghouse out. I it's kind of a 2-man job. I need somebody to hold the mat and make sure it stays in position and all this other stuff. And so I took the doghouse out. I have to butcher cut it around this inner edge now. So then I leave a little bit of extra for where the white is. So the rubber mat's gonna butt up to here, not in here. So it's gonna butt up to here, and so I'll cut it in about here, and then I'll just keep chiseling until I get exactly what I need, and force it down, and then that way, by forcing it down, we'll force pressure over this way, and I guess I don't know. Like I said, this is my son just made it back. He leaves tomorrow, so I'm way ahead of schedule anyway. So it's frustrating because I like I said, I don't have the extra money to buy another mat, so I have to make this one cut only. That's what it's all about, right? Vanlife maintenance. So anyways, that's where I'm at. I decided to take the doghouse out. Whether I put it on the mat and try to do the pattern, or if I just put the mat in and try to chisel around, I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm just going to try to get this mat in and chisel from the center, leave extra, go all the way around, and then straight up the mat, and then try to chisel that out so it lays down flat, and then try to chisel out this side around this little hump, because this mat's too thick to shape. You could heat them up and then bend them while you're gluing it. So there is that way, but that's a lot of work. And this mat's a little bit thick, so I don't think that'll work too well. So I'm not going to do it that way. Or else it would be nice to get the shape of this hump, but these humps are just too much. So that's where I'm at. We'll talk to you soon. Well, hopefully my mic is working. Anyways, everybody. So where I'm at is I have to cut right to here in an angle to here. So I'll use a straight edge for that. I'll tell you, they said you could cut this stuff with a pair of scissors. Yeah, right. But anyway, so right now I'm just taking my time and chiseling it out. There's a lip right there. If you see, I have to get it snipped so it falls into that edge, which is very close. I don't know if you guys can see this. There's a black line right here with a pen mark. That's point of no return, so I want to go a little bit in closer. So I'm trying to get as close to that line as I can without making. So far it's not too ratty looking. I got to do a little bit extra, but again, my doghouse will cover over that, is what I'm hoping. If I'm going through all this for nothing, I'm going to be cranky, but whatever. So the good news is I cut out the doghouse and I didn't screw that up. So that part went really well, and it's nice and snug up against my other flooring here. So that's all good. Cutting out these humps, I'm not looking forward to that, because every time you miss with your blade, I don't want to be scratching up my new paint. So, But again, if I do, I like I said, I'm gonna fit the mat first. If I have to take it all out and wash all the floor again, and maybe repaint some of the scrapes, then that's what I'll have to do. I'm hoping I don't have to. But anyways, but trying to do this with that utility knife is just pure murder. I don't have the right tools. I wish I had one of those cordless snippers. You know, that'd be great. But I don't have the money. I'm not going to go buy one just for one job. So it's not getting butchered too awful bad. So like I said, up to that black line is where the rubber is going to sit on top of for the doghouse. I got to get this down as low as I can so I'm not raising the doghouse too much. So we'll see how it goes. I'll keep you posted. But this old dog, man, I'm telling you, this is a lot on me. Being bent over for long periods of times is no good for me. But not only that, I've had 2 operations on both hands for carpal tunnel. And this hand, I almost lost this hand due to massive infection. I have pictures of that. They actually were to the point where they were getting close to cutting off my hand. Thankfully, that didn't happen because I would have sued the heck out of that hospital because when they did the carpal tunnel, the nurse that was helping the surgeon, she just came back that day from a massive head cold. She was off for a bunch of days for a massive head cold. She come in and she's handing him all these tools. She's prepping me and everything. No mask on. And this was just right after COVID. I had this surgery done. So no mask on. And she had no gloves on. And this hand got so infected. Like it was, I'd love to show you the pictures of it, but I don't want to get flagged from YouTube for those kind of pictures. I don't know. So I'm not going to bother. But anyway, so this hand, my dominant hand, is not like it used to be. Holding a knife for a period of time and using force is pretty brutal on it. So, but I'm getting it bit by bit. Keep pushing forward. That's all I can do. So we'll talk to you in a bit. Well, I'm back again. I don't have my microphone on. This day has turned into an absolute nightmare of just, it's crazy. So I'll show you where I'm at now. The guy that I got the mat from, he told me that, oh yeah, you can cut it with scissors. No, you can't cut it at all with scissors. If you want to break the handles off the scissors, yeah, sure. Tin snips, well, that ain't gonna work either. And it just, so I had to do this whole thing so far by a utility knife, and I'm not even done. So I'll show you where I'm at right now. I got the mat and the dimmer switch in. I was hoping to put the dimmer switch underneath the mat and then pop a hole, but this rubber mat is basically what it is it's a bunch of crap glued together, junk materials to form a rubber mat. But at the end of the day, it doesn't cut at all. It rips very easy, but it doesn't cut. So that's where I'm at right now. That's around my wheel wells here. My metal trim is way in here. I didn't realize that from when I took them out because all I had was a metal floor before, so I didn't notice that. So I cut the rubber to the edge of the pan here, but the metal things, which is fine. I don't mind. It doesn't, it's in. So the seat's in, and the mat's all on the driver's side, but this is where I failed. Couldn't get the doghouse back in, and trying to guess where to cut these out. The problem is the doghouse was over here when it was sitting on, the front of the doghouse was sitting on top of the rubber mat, so it wouldn't allow my bracket to go over far enough to get into the bolt hole. and with the latches on the side sucked it in, but the front was still high. So I had to guess cut this, which it's not horrible, but it makes me mad. And then under here was two little pins that stuck up through the floor that hold the factory mat that used to be here before. And I didn't want to really grind them off, but then I was going to grind them off, and then I forgot. And trying to get this mat down flat wasn't happening. So I actually had to take the drill and bust them there. Now I got to try to hammer that down so the metal thing pops up through somehow. And if it doesn't, I don't know. But it really, really makes me mad. All this work into this, and it was going so good, and then these little tiny issues, I have to wreck my mat. So I'm not impressed, because the whole idea was to make this waterproof so that any moisture would come out through the doors instead of, but now the way that is with those brackets, now I got those big belly holes to deal with. So over on the passenger side is where I'm not done yet. My body hurts really bad. My hands hurt a lot trying to chisel this mat out with the utility knife. So I'll show you. So my mat, well, you can't see with the sunlight shadow, but the mat's right flush up against the other floor, which is good. And over and underneath the seats, all good. So that's all good. It's just these two things really is depressing, because I didn't want to cut those out. So this is where I'm at now. I have to somehow cut this mat to fit up underneath here. You guys can't really see that, but it's all buckled here, like it has to go down quite a ways. That's going to take a long time, because now I have it actually mounted in with the seat and all that. I can't pull the mat out, subscribe it, and then chisel it, put the mat back in, try it, chisel some more, whatever. Now I have to try to retrofit this while it's in place. So I just did this edge here up to here. I left a little extra because this is going to be cut around like that. So it'll look like the other side when I'm done. I just don't know exactly when I'm going to do it. And right now I'm just pretty frustrated, because I wanted to do content with this the whole time. And in the process of all this, my phone completely died. So then I lost a whole bunch of time for that, because I had to try to find a cord, because it turns out the cigarette lighter USB port thing that I bought from a store that has two plugs in it, well, the phone was sitting there for 2 hours on it, and it got to 5%. So I lost all my footages because I lost the phone. So now I have the phone back, but as you can see, I butchered what I could so far. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not a terrible job. Is it the exact way I was hoping for? No, it's not going to be. Nothing I can do about it. But at the end of the day, to think positively, this mat is going to be great for sound, and it's going to be nicer to look at than a beige rusty floor that used to be there. So at the end of the day, I'm still a happy guy. It's just the massive process to try to get this. I thought pulling the seats out was going to make it so much quicker and easier, but when you can't actually cut this rubber with a utility knife, it makes it for a nightmare. Like, it just don't want to cut. And throw a new blade on it, make one little subscribe through the rubber, and it's dull already. And you just, so all you're doing is cut chiseling the whole time. And that's all I've been doing to try to get it in as much as I can. So for those of you that will see this video, this is the end of part 3, I think I'm on. I'm not going to be doing any more today. I have to deal with eating something. I haven't eaten today, so being a diabetic, that's not usually a good thing. And I know that's why I'm probably feeling the way I'm feeling, because I've been dizzy all afternoon and I'm hurting and everything's going. So I just want to call it an end of this day. And so please like, share, and subscribe. And tomorrow's another day, right? So hopefully I can get it chiseled out on the passenger side here and get the other seat in. But at the end of the day, I might leave the seat out for a while, because you know what? It'd be a nice place to put my fridge and give me space. So I don't know. I haven't decided what I'm doing yet. Um, if I was in a relationship, I'd have to put the seat in right away, but I don't have a relationship, so I might skip it out for a little while. But anyways, everybody, take care for now. This is the end of part 3, and we'll talk to you possibly tomorrow. See you soon.